we're here after a commercial break. We have our TPW home show interviews. This would be our number 5 taping. So we have none other than to kick off the interview. A lot of questions to ask this man, the Ram. We had a lot of new superstars join here tonight, as well as some big matches be competed in tonight, as well as a big announcement with Theodore Long being our new GM of TPW. So, Ram, uh, I guess go with whatever questions you want to answer first. I know that there's a lot of them that I told you right there. So, well, thanks, Pepperjack. Thank you, TPW fans, for watching as always. Um, and it's been quite the ride. I mean, honestly, you guys saw my documentary, and like all the stuff that I've been saying about the new talent definitely is you see the new talent rising. You saw in the opening bout you had second match, the Frenchman, who is our newest member of our main roster, is another giant from France who faced off against Cayenne, the Japanese Nightmare, who is a veteran, soon-to-be legend here in TPW, in an ambulance match. And that was just brutal. You know, you'll see that on YouTube. It was just posted, but uh, definitely tune into that to see that match. That was just brutal between those two men. Behemoths, you can call them, because they were really big giants face off against each other, and that won't be the end of their matches, you know. It'll be a continuation of matches between those two giants. Um, yeah, and then after that brutal match, we had like singles competition between the two teams of Shibata um, and then the faces facing off against each other. We had obviously the tag champions already face off from the faces against the Rizzlers. They had their own match, so they didn't have really any other matches. They accompanied the rest of the team for their singles matches, but yeah, anyways, we had Z in action. He's the future world #1 contender, which I still don't know what Destroyer has planned there, but I'm sure, like everyone's saying, it cannot be a fair match between Z and Destroyer and expect Destroyer to win one-on-one with a young talent like Z. I mean, he demolished his opponent, which was, I think it was Edward in that match. He just demolished him, didn't even let him get any offense at all. And he got both pinfalls in a vintage TPW matchup, a singles match. And yeah, that was just brutalization from Z, our newest talent on the main roster as well. Um, and then obviously we had the other match, which was Baron Corbin, and uh, we had face off against Johnny Goodman, or Jerry Goodman, sorry. That was the first matchup, which Jerry ended up winning. Uh, and that was pretty good match between those two competitors as well. The new talent champion, who is Baron Corbin, and Jerry Goodman. Um, and then obviously you had the rest of the night, which was you had uh, that big last man standing match between the King Insidious, which I believe Insidious with that big win does deserve a title shot, so he will get a title opportunity for the Mid-Carter Championship. Just gotta see what we have here for Team Battle. That's the next pay-per-view, so yeah, so he has a future title shot at the end of this month against the King, one-on-one. They'll have their match. And then, obviously, that was a great match between those two young superstars, and, rising veteran, which is Insidious. He's been here for a while. Won his first title a couple months ago, the tag titles, but looking to get singles gold with the Mid-Carter Championship, the second highest title here in TPW. Then we had, obviously, our big main event, the newest recruit Crow against one-on-one with the face of the company, Shibata, and Crow won that casket match made by our general manager, Theodore Long, which was an amazing matchup to tune into as well. So in general, like I said, a lot of good action between these young superstars, bringing it 100% here in TPW. But yeah, that's pretty much it for those matches and uh, things of that nature. But talking about our newest GM now, Theodore Long, we've been talking about this for a while. Me and him have been having multiple meetings to see when it would have been good to reveal this big opportunity. He was working behind the scenes before he was officially named as GM. Just wanted to throw some things at him to see what he could handle in the GM role here in TPW, and he handled everything well. So we decided to give him that opportunity because we really did need a GM in this company because I'm handling a lot as it is, and he'll be handling more of the matches and stuff like that. I'll be handling more of the creativity of the company, hiring people, stuff like that, so I can focus on those things. And we'll be a big tag team per se in the manager roles. So that'll be interesting to see what Theodore Long has set for the future of TPW. As for Team Battle coming up, I mentioned it earlier. That will be at the end of this month. That will be our pay-per-view, next pay-per-view out of the three that we had, including Team Battle for this month. And then I believe our next pay-per-view after that, we'll see what it is here. I have it in my notes. Let's see here. So we have, I believe, before let's see here. So we have three pay-per-views heading into before the obviously ring elimination. We have one in January 7th, which is one pay-per-view as well as a um, a special night which will have a old school TPW ring as well as old school night which will have all the legends compete in that match that night as well as the new superstars as well as we know. And then we'll have on December 7th, which would be right after the team battle, we'll have another pay-per-view with just the new talents. They'll actually have two pay-per-views before the ring elimination. Um, and then we'll have in the middle, like I said, that old school night. So that'll be pretty interesting to see how that all goes. Um, with uh, the next coming pay-per-views heading into ring elimination, but definitely, like I said, we'll have that pay-per-view at the end of this month, and then the next one will be literally the weekend after that pay-per-view, which would be our new talent pay-per-views, which would include just the new talents fighting in a pay-per-view as well. It'll be actually their first new talent pay-per-view, so that'll be interesting to see them in their own pay-per-view on that weekend after the team battle pay-per-view. So really looking forward to that, to see all the new talents fight it out. Uh, Obviously, we will have the new talent championship on the line. And we'll be introducing another new title to the new talent roster. On that same night of the pay-per-view, we will be having a matchup for that title as well. So that'll be interesting to unveil. We keep throwing them up and knocking them down, as I could say, for these titles. Because I know, obviously, the Faces took the New Talent Championship, so it will be a little difficult for someone to unfortunately take back the New Talent Championship. So we are going to add a new title because of that reason for the new talent to fight for as well. But other than that, I think those were all the announcements I had for the upcoming matches, pay-per-views for TPW. But we will be hearing now from one or two superstars here in our interviews tonight as well, not just me. So let's hear from them, Pepperjack. Indeed, let's get to our first interviewee, which is a none other than Shibata, who just faced off against the Crow, our newest superstar in the main event. Shibata suffered a big loss in that casket match, so we hear from Shibata now. Shibata, you definitely went through a grueling casket match with Crow, and you weren't expecting to lose that matchup, but you did. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about losing that matchup against Crow, especially getting your momentum heading into the Team Battle pay-per-view. Well, honestly, it's okay. I mean, you get wins and losses all the time. As unfortunately, that's what destroys it. But uh, yeah, you get wins and losses all the time here in the company, and it's great to see superstars who want to progress and to move forward. And the way you do it is to face the top person, and that's me, you know. And that's why Crow faced me in that match and won the match. And I'm sure I see a bright future for him. A lot to come and move forward for the Crow. Um, and definitely a fierce competitor. And surprisingly a fan favorite, even though he looks the way he does, he definitely captivated the audience. So it's, I'm sure we'll see a lot more from him again in the future to come. Uh, as for the future of TPW, you know, it's looking bright. I mean, like the Ram said earlier, so many new talents coming into the main roster, and handpicked hires from the Ram from around the world, like the Frenchman from France. You have Edward, who is a multicultural superstar. Um, and yeah, just so many other people that he's hiring to join the main roster to help TPW grow in the new age, as you could say, of TPW. Yeah, and it's really great to see everything going on, and we have those pay-per-views to come, plus it just announced TPW Old School, which will be, uh, I believe he said in December, but yeah, just so many things being announced, and then 2 new talent pay-per-views that will be happening before our TPW Ring Elimination pay-per-view. But yeah, I think that was everything we had to ask you, Shibata. Thank you for being here today for the interviews. Oh, no problem, Pepperjack, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you and the TPW fans. Well, yeah, we hear from Shibata, and then we're gonna hear from another superstar here that competed tonight as none other than, unfortunately, the Destroyer. So we hear from Destroyer, a world champion right now. And before you say anything, Pepperjack, shut your mouth and know your place. You know who you're talking to, and that is none other than the best champion you'll ever see in TPW history, which is the Destroyer. I write my own questions and interviews. I write my own stuff. I am going to speak in my own behalf. So, welcome to my interview of the world champion Destroyer. Now, you've seen the carnage that I've laid upon everyone who has stepped in the ring with me. I don't have to repeat myself hundreds of times. You've seen the demolishing of C. Brown, Razor, Boogeyman, and so many others that stepped in the ring with me, just like tonight. That punk Chewy who thought he could pick up the win over the world champion. I don't think so, you little jabroni, and you little new talent superstar who thinks he can just walk in here and face the best TPW offer has to challenge. Nope, I don't think so. And either way, we will be moving towards team battle, which will be none other than Destroyer and his Faces team against the poopy doopy team of the Shibata team that he's going to have. I don't think that he has a chance against me. You saw his team. They suck. They suck so much that they could stand on a diving board and not jump at all because they are so stiff with no talent that they will not move and win that team battle at the end of this month. Anyways, the new talent uh, is just another thing. I don't know why the Ram is promoting new people. He has the best offer in the Faces. He doesn't need anyone else on the main roster. And now the poor little baby new talents have to have a new title because they can't beat Corbin for the title. That doesn't matter anyways because they could have a new championship and someone else from the Faces will win that team. They will not be able to relinquish any championship from this team, and it doesn't matter if the King is the champion of the Mid-Carter title or Insidious. We are coming for you, King, or whoever it is that's champion. We will have that championship on our team by the end of that pay-per-view or whenever it shall be. So we have your number, and that is about it that I have to say in behalf of the Faces. Enjoy the rest of your day or not, because you have been face to face with greatness. Well, thank you, Destroyer, as always, for your lovely presence here in TPW. Well, I guess that is everyone we had to talk to here in our interviews. As the Ram said, we have so many things coming towards TPW, heading forward with our pay-per-views and new talents coming in. But nonetheless, tune in to our next coming pay-per-view, which is at the end of this month on the 30th, which is TPW Team Battle. And before that, we'll have a week of action, as well as this week we'll have the new talent show and the rival show, and then next week we'll have our TPW home show as well. And if we have time to fit it in, we will have our new talent show and rival show as well before our big pay-per-view on that weekend. So again, if you want to follow more action, you can follow it on Twitch live, and that's Comics R100. And usually the shows start on live at early morning. They will start at usually around 6 or 7 in the morning. Maybe sometimes like 8 o'clock, depending on the timing and the scheduling. But usually it's in the morning. As well as if you missed any action and you can't be up at that time, you can watch it recorded on YouTube, and they'll have many old matches as well from the start again of TPW till now, as well as some big pay-per-view events that you might have missed to catch up on TPW action. And I am none other than Pepperjack, and thank you for watching TPW and these interviews.